We're back again. This time we're breaking down the Eastern Conference first round, what we've learned so far from the first two games. And after this video, I'm going on vacation to see Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Duckworth Lamar. But first, before vacation, let's talk about the Miami Heat versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before this series, we talked about how bad Miami's offense was in comparison to Cleveland. To counter this fact, Miami has really controlled possession of the ball. They are currently fourth in all playoffs in possession time, keeping Cleveland to last place. Miami loves the pick and roll, but Cleveland is pretty good at defending it. Miami is only scoring 9 points when receiving the ball in the paint. Miami also a good spot up shooting team, where Cleveland is top 10 at defending spot up shots. Miami is third in the playoffs at spot up shooting and fifth in spot up shooting field goal percentage right now. We also talked about how Cleveland and Miami love creating turnovers. Looks like Cleveland is still somewhat doing the damn thing. Their seventh and fourth turnover rate. Cleveland is also taking care of the ball, as Miami is 15th out of 16 teams in creating turnovers this postseason. Miami and Cleveland are also rebounding equally, which before the series I gave the slight advantage to Miami, and currently Miami does have the slight advantage. Miami also sits fifth in second chance points due to the offensive rebounds, where the Cavs are 11th. This is the slowest series in the playoffs right now, behind Minnesota versus the Lakers and Boston versus Orlando. With Miami figuring out they need to control the possession time to try to keep games close, I think they may be able to steal one in Miami if they can figure out how to stop turning the ball over and force Cleveland into their own turnovers. Miami has been able to score in the paint a ton, and it seems like no defense has been played by either team so far in this series. I still have Cleveland in the end, but I think Miami can push this to 5 or 6 games. Now, I'll call this the J. Cole series. Orlando versus Boston. It's a series where you can throw the game on before you go to bed. And if you can't sleep, you don't have to take melatonin, just watch this. So does anybody actually care about this series? It's the most boring series. It's the most predictable series, tied with Memphis versus OKC. Orlando has shown that they are still decent at defending, but do not have nearly enough offense to compete with Boston. Boston, like we mentioned before, is all about spot up shooting. They're fifth in the playoffs right now in spot up shooting from 3-point range at 39%. Boston is also fifth in field goal percent from above the break 3. Although Orlando is still strong at being able to limit those opportunities, as Boston is shooting under 30 of them per game. Boston has been trying to make up for this by shooting in the paint, but Orlando is defending that well also, as Boston is shooting under 40% in the paint. My guess is a lot of those are shots coming from guys who get chased off the 3-point line by Orlando defenders. Where Boston is really making up for Orlando running them off the 3-point line is getting to the free throw line, where they're actually second in the playoffs in free throw rate. 32% of their field goal attempts become free throws so far. Boston is also dominating offensive boards, where they're second in the playoffs in second chance points. Boston should sweep Orlando, or at worst go to 5 games. The series would actually be interesting if Orlando had somewhat of an offensive punch to somewhat keep up with Boston's scoring output. The only good thing about this series really is that it's showing people that Boston can do more than just shoot threes. And if they can't shoot threes, they have other strengths to attack you with. And now we will move on to possibly my only L in the Eastern Conference. We'll see. Detroit versus New York. We told you how Detroit sucks at scoring at the rim, but they're good in the paint and from above the break 3. Pistons are currently shooting 50% in the paint, which is 6th in the playoffs and 4th from above the break 3 at 39%. Knicks were 11th in above the break 3 during the regular season, and they're currently 11th in the playoffs, only shooting 33% from above the break 3. Pistons also took away another strength from the New York Knicks, like we actually predicted they would. The Knicks are third worst right now in the playoffs at spot up shooting and only making 31% of their spot up shooting attempts. The Pistons have also created a decent lead against New York in offensive rebounding, a category that I gave in favor to the Knicks before the series started. The Knicks are still creating turnovers, so much in fact that the Pistons are turning the ball over nearly 20% of their possessions. We also saw that the Knicks should be going to the free throw line more frequently than Detroit, but that is also flipped just like the offensive rebound. I still like New York in this series as I feel like New York has not been playing their best and still have a win already in this series. In the end, if New York's core can lock in together at the same time, then Detroit simply does not have the firepower to keep up with that offense. But do the Knicks have the energy to do that at this point in the season after playing all those Tom Thibodeau minutes for 84 games now? I guess we'll find out. And finally, the series that I feel like has the most stipulations at the end of the day for one team, we're talking about the Bucks versus Pacers. Well, it's looking like Milwaukee is going to be the team to watch this offseason. They just extended their general manager. So how are they going to improve this team? Or are they going to blow it up? And why did they extend their GM? Milwaukee is still struggling against Indiana at shooting from above the break 3, where they're 5th worst in the playoffs, shooting 32%. Indiana has also taken away a strength from the Bucks in their paint scoring by allowing the Bucks to make only 36% of those shots. That's third worst among the teams in the playoffs. Indiana is 8th from above the break 3, 1st in corner 3, 2nd in mid-range, and 6th at rim shooting. Milwaukee's defense is just getting destroyed. People in the media and probably some of your friends thought Dame could help the Bucks, but we already covered what Indiana did to Dame in the regular season by holding him to 36% shooting and 18 points per game. I don't want to sound cocky, but once again, we were right. Dame returned to action in game 2, shooting 4-13 from the field, which is 31%, and 2 for 8 from 3-point range, which is 25% shooting. Obviously, I'm sticking with Indiana as my pick here, but the Bucks are gonna have to start playing some defense if they want this to go to 7 games. This is starting to look real bad for Milwaukee. Let me know in the comments below where you think Giannis will be traded and where Dame will be traded if Milwaukee decides to start over this offseason. And for me, my guess is Giannis to Oklahoma City. They have the young guys and all the picks to get it done. And I think Dame will be part of a 3-team trade to get Kevin Durant somewhere, wherever that is. Anyways, can't wait to talk about round 2. And I will see you guys after this Kendrick Duckworth Lamar concert, baby.